Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel. In today's video, we'll be diving deep into one of the most intriguing and often misunderstood modern-era coins, the 1987 no-mint Mark Washington quarter. This is more than just pocket change. For certain collectors, it represents a potential hidden gem, one that could be worth far more than 25 cents. At first glance, the 1987 Washington quarter may not appear particularly special. It bears the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse, originally sculpted by John Flanagan. The reverse features the iconic eagle design perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, a staple of quarters minted between 1932 and 1998. But it's not the design that sets this coin apart. It's the absence of a mint mark. And as with many aspects of numismatics, small details can mean big money. In the world of United States coinage, a mint mark indicates where the coin was produced. For Washington quarters struck in 1987, most coins were minted in either Philadelphia or Denver. The Philadelphia Mint, however, did not place a mint mark on quarters during that time. That means a 1987 quarter with no mint mark was, in fact, minted in Philadelphia, and this was perfectly standard. Here's where it gets interesting. While the lack of a mint mark alone doesn't make the 1987 quarter rare, as millions were minted in Philadelphia, there are certain errors, condition grades, and contextual factors that can elevate the value significantly. Let's start with mintage. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 582 million quarters in 1987. This puts the base version of this coin into the category of common circulation coins. However, not all 1987 quarters are created equal. Collectors pay close attention to strike quality, luster, and preservation. Coins that have been well preserved in mint state, particularly those graded MS66 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, are significantly more desirable. In fact, auction records show that high-grade examples, those in MS67 and above, have fetched between $100 and $500, depending on eye appeal and strike sharpness. But that's not all. There are rare varieties and errors that have been discovered on 1987 quarters. These include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and clipped planchets. While rare, these minting anomalies can raise the value dramatically. Coins with major errors have sold for as much as $1,000 at auction, especially when certified by a reputable grading authority. In 2025, collector interest in modern-era errors and high-grade specimens continues to rise. The numismatic market has seen a surge in demand for coins that were once overlooked. This trend is driven by both seasoned collectors and new enthusiasts entering the hobby, many of whom are armed with digital tools, coin apps, and access to online marketplaces. As of this year, the average circulated 1987 no-mint Mark Washington quarter remains worth face value, 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples start to fetch $1 to $3 in online marketplaces and local coin shops. Certified MS66 examples are routinely valued between $25 and $60. At MS67, the value rises sharply, often reaching the $100 to $200 range, depending on current demand and population reports. If you happen to own a flawless example, one that could grade MS68 or higher, you may be holding a coin worth upwards of $500 or more. These coins are exceptionally rare and often come from original mint sets or rolls that were preserved with great care. So how do you know if your 1987 quarter is worth more than face value? Start by examining the coin under proper lighting. Look for signs of wear, luster, and strike quality. If it appears uncirculated, consider submitting it to a professional grading service. Additionally, be on the lookout for known errors or anomalies. Even small differences, such as a double die obverse, can dramatically increase the coin's worth. Collectors are advised to store valuable coins in protective holders, avoid cleaning them, and always handle them by the edges to preserve their condition. Coin grading is as much an art as it is a science, and condition is everything when it comes to maximizing value. In summary, While the standard 1987 no-mint mark Washington quarter is common, certain high-grade and error specimens are highly collectible and potentially very valuable. As of 2025, this coin remains a favorite among collectors of modern U.S. coinage, and for good reason. With careful examination, a little luck, and an understanding of the market, a coin you find in change today could be worth hundreds tomorrow. We're diving deep into one of Australia's most curious and highly discussed modern decimal coins, the 1981 Queen Elizabeth II 20-cent coin with no mint mark. This isn't just any 20-cent coin. Its history, origin, and collectability have made it a standout piece in Australian numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual enthusiast, this video will walk you through everything you need to know, from historical background to current market value in 2025. Be sure to watch until the end to find out how much this coin could be worth today, and how to tell if the one you have might fetch a premium. In 1981, Australia experienced a surge in demand for its circulating coinage, especially the 20-cent denomination. To meet this growing demand, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra sought additional production capabilities. For this purpose, it outsourced part of the 1981 20-cent coin mintage to international mints, including the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales, and the Royal Canadian Mint in Ottawa. The Royal Australian Mint produced coins were marked with a small dot mint mark beneath the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a tiny but critical detail. Coins struck overseas, however, did not bear any mint mark. This absence of a mint mark has led to some confusion, as these coins are often mistaken for rare errors or unique varieties. In reality, the no mint mark version is not an error but rather an identifier of its mint of origin, most often the Royal Mint in Wales. However, not all no mint mark coins are equal. Over time, some varieties have become far more desirable than others based on strike quality, die characteristics, and even metal composition. The 1981 Australian 20-cent coin features the familiar platypus design on the reverse, originally created by Stuart Devlin. The obverse bears the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, a common portrait used on Australian coinage from 1966 to 1984. These coins are composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, with a diameter of 28.52 mm and a weight of 11.31 grams. They are round, reeded on the edge, and were produced in the tens of millions. However, what makes the no mint mark version particularly interesting is its attribution and subsequent treatment by collectors. On the surface, the no mint mark version may not appear rare. In fact, millions were minted by the Royal Mint in Wales. However, rarity in the world of coin collecting isn't always about mintage numbers alone. Factors like strike quality, die variation, and market survival rate all contribute to desirability. One of the most sought-after versions of this coin is the 1981 Canadian struck 20-cent coin, which has subtly different design details and sharper strikes. These coins, though also lacking a mint mark, are distinguishable by minor design differences, most notably in the spacing and font of the lettering, the appearance of Queen Elizabeth's portrait, and the reverse platypus details. Collectors began paying closer attention to these differences in the late 1990s and early 2000s. As numismatic awareness grew, so did the premium placed on certain high-quality no-mint mark strikes. Additionally, coins in uncirculated condition or graded by reputable third-party services such as PCGS or NGC have drawn considerable interest. Coins that receive high grades, MS65 or above, are now considered semi-key pieces in modern decimal collections. If you're wondering how to identify a valuable no-mint mark 1981 20-cent coin, here are some key pointers. Check for the absence of a mint mark beneath the Queen's neck. This indicates foreign minting. Look for strike sharpness and quality. Canadian struck coins often have more defined details and may show slightly different die characteristics. Be wary of damage or post-mint alterations. Only coins in good condition hold substantial value. If possible, submit the coin for grading and authentication. Slabbed examples with a recognized mint attribution will always fetch higher prices in the market. So how much is the 1981 no mint mark Queen Elizabeth II 20-cent coin worth today, in 2025? The answer, as always, depends on condition, demand, and die variety. circulated examples of the no-mint mark coin typically sell for between 1 and 5 Australian dollars. Depending on where and overall I appeal, uncirculated examples can fetch anywhere from $10 to $30, particularly if they show signs of foreign mint origin. Coins that have been graded MS64 or higher can command significantly higher prices. For example, as of mid-2025, PCGS certified examples graded MS65 are selling for between 80 and 150 Australian dollars, depending on variety and provenance. Exceptionally well-struck or rare die varieties, such as the Canadian struck pieces, may exceed $200 or more in top condition. If your coin exhibits unique die errors or planchet issues, it may even be worth significantly more to specialized collectors. As the market continues to mature and more collectors seek complete decimal series, coins like the 1981 no-mint mark 20-cent piece are expected to retain, or even increase, their value. To conclude, the 1981 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth II Australia 20 cents coin is a fascinating piece of modern Australian coinage. Its intrigue lies not in being a traditional error, but in representing an era when Australia leaned on international mints to meet domestic demand, and in the small differences that now make a big impact in collector circles. If you think you might have one of these coins, take a closer look. Consider having it authenticated and graded if it's in particularly good condition. And as always, consult with a reputable coin dealer or numismatist before making any sales or purchases. The 2004 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin. You might think this coin is just pocket change, but you'd be surprised to learn that some of these quarters have sold for thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around as we explore the coin's historical significance, minting details, varieties, errors, collector demand, and most importantly, its current market value in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your coin collecting journey, this video is going to give you the insight you need to identify the hidden gems in your change jar. The 2004 Washington Quarter was part of the 50 State Quarters program, an ambitious series launched by the United States Mint to honor all 50 states. Each year, 5 new state quarters were released, each representing a different state in the order they joined the Union. The year 2004 saw the release of 5 quarters representing Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Now, the P Mint mark on these quarters tells us that they were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In total, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of state quarters in 2004. This would suggest that the coin is quite common, and for the most part, that's true. However, not all 2004 P quarters are created equal. What separates an ordinary 25-cent piece from one worth thousands of dollars comes down to condition, rarity, and sometimes, unique minting errors. Let's take a closer look at the mintage numbers. In 2004, the Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 225 million Michigan quarters, 241 million Florida quarters, 278 million Texas quarters, 213 million Iowa quarters, 226 million Wisconsin quarters. Clearly, these are not low mintage coins by traditional standards. But here's where things get interesting. One of the most talked about varieties of the 2004 P quarters is the Wisconsin extra leaf error. These errors come in 2 variations, the extra leaf high and the extra leaf low. This error occurred during the minting process when an extra leaf was accidentally engraved into the corn stalk featured on the coin's reverse side. It's a subtle difference, but one that can dramatically affect the value. As of 2025, the 2004 P Wisconsin extra leaf low quarter in excellent uncirculated condition can sell for anywhere between $300 and $1,500. In extremely rare cases, particularly pristine specimens graded MS67 or higher by reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC, have reached upwards of $2,500 at auction. The extra leaf high variation is equally collectible and valued similarly, but error coins aren't the only ones drawing attention. Coins in exceptional condition, especially those graded MS67, MS68, or even MS69, are also highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. For context, MS stands for mint state, a scale used to grade the quality and preservation of coins. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Over the past 15 years, the value of rare state quarters has been steadily climbing. The combination of growing collector interest, increasing demand for error coins, and a finite supply of high-grade examples has made these coins a hot commodity. In 2025, the market continues to favor coins with strong eye appeal, limited populations, and certified authenticity. A standard 2004p Washington quarter from circulation is typically worth its face value, just 25 cents. However, in brilliant uncirculated condition, even the most common state varieties from this year can fetch between $2 and $10. Coins graded MS 65 and higher often range from $20 to $75 depending on the state, with Wisconsin leading the pack due to its known errors. What makes the 2004p Wisconsin quarter so special isn't just the error itself, but how clear and consistent the leaf variations are. They're easy to spot once you know what to look for, and that makes them popular among both new and experienced collectors. If you want to know whether your quarter might be worth more than face value, here's what you should do: inspect your coin closely under magnification. Look for any unusual markings or die errors, particularly on the reverse side. Check for luster and wear. Coins that have not circulated will retain their original mint shine. Consider getting your coin professionally graded if you believe it may be a high-value specimen. Refer to up-to-date auction results from trusted platforms such as Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, or eBay's sold listings. So there you have it. The 2004p Washington quarter might seem like an ordinary coin, but under the right conditions, it can be worth a small fortune. Whether it's the elusive Wisconsin extra leaf error, a flawless mint state example, or a rare variety, these coins continue to surprise collectors and investors in 2025. Before you spend your change, take a second look. That quarter in your pocket might be worth a lot more than you think. Australian coins in circulation. The mysterious and elusive 2000 no mint mark Queen Elizabeth II 20 cents coin. If you're a numismatist, a casual collector, or simply curious about coins that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, you won't want to miss this. So make sure to like this video, subscribe, and stick around to the end, where we reveal the current market value of this coin in 2025 and what to look for to identify a genuine piece. The Australian 20-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II has been a part of the country's circulating currency since 1966. Typically minted in large quantities and widely used, the 20-cent coin is not generally considered rare. However, the year 2000 produced a unique anomaly that would become one of the most talked about error coins in Australian numismatic history. This anomaly is known as the 2000 no mint mark 20-cent coin. What makes this coin extraordinary is that it lacks the standard mint mark found on coins struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. During the year 2000, standard 20-cent coins were minted in significant volumes, intended for general circulation. However, a small number of these coins were struck using a die that lacked the mint mark. The missing mint mark was an unintentional production error, likely the result of a die maintenance oversight. Only a very limited number were released into circulation before the mistake was caught. This unintentional omission transformed what would have been an ordinary coin into a rare collector's item. The 2020 cent coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This was the standard portrait used between 1999 and 2019. The reverse side of the coin showcases the iconic platypus design by Stuart Devlin, which has been consistent since the coin's introduction in 1966. In standard versions of the 2000 coin, a mint mark is present beneath the neck of the Queen's portrait. In the error variety, this mint mark is absent, making it distinguishable from regular issues. Careful examination with a magnifying lens is usually required to confirm the absence of the mint mark. Because of this subtle difference, many of these coins passed through circulation unnoticed for years. The rarity of the 2000 no mint mark 20-cent coin cannot be overstated. Estimates suggest that fewer than a few thousand of these coins exist today. The exact mintage figure remains uncertain due to the unofficial nature of the error, but it is universally acknowledged among collectors as extremely scarce. Over the years, as awareness of this coin increased, demand from numismatists grew. Collectors began combing through their change, hoping to find this elusive coin. Many of those that were discovered had already seen heavy circulation, leading to condition issues. As a result, coins in high-grade condition, especially those that are uncirculated or graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, are especially valuable. coins with full details, minimal wear, and no signs of damage are the ones that command the highest premiums. Now let's talk about the current market value in 2025 of this year. Prices for the 2000 no mint mark Queen Elizabeth II 20-cent coin have reached record highs. Depending on the condition and grading, the value can vary significantly. Circulated examples in average condition can fetch between $150 to $300. Coins in better condition, showing only minimal wear, may be worth $400 to $700. Uncirculated or professionally graded coins, especially those graded MS64 or higher, are commanding prices upwards of $1,200 to $3,000 at auction and private sales. The most pristine examples, those graded MS66 or above, have reportedly changed hands for over $4,000, especially if accompanied by third-party authentication. Collectors value this coin not only for its rarity but also for the story behind its creation. The absence of the mint mark adds an element of mystery and historical intrigue, which makes it a centerpiece in any serious Australian coin collection. If you think you might have one of these rare coins, here are a few tips to help you identify it. First, examine the obverse side of the coin, just beneath the queen's neckline. On regular issues, there is a small mint mark indicating where the coin was struck. On the rare 2000 no mint mark version, that mint mark is completely missing. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect closely. Lighting is key. Ensure you're in a well-lit environment so you can clearly see the details. Next, assess the coin's overall condition. Coins with deep scratches, corrosion, or heavy wear may still hold value, but they will be less attractive to collectors and may sell for significantly less. For verification, consider sending your coin to a reputable grading service. Certification adds legitimacy and can greatly increase its resale value. Services such as PCGS and NGC are trusted worldwide for their coin grading standards. The 2000 no mint mark Queen Elizabeth II 20-cent coin is a shining example of how a small minting oversight can lead to a coin becoming a highly prized collectible. With rising demand and increasing scarcity, this coin has firmly cemented its place in Australian numismatic history. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting out, always check your change. Valuable coins like this can and do appear in circulation from time to time. It's entirely possible that one of these hidden treasures could be sitting in your drawer right now. Have you ever come across a rare coin in your everyday transactions? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more numismatic content, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting.